I've been experiencing some shame, Dee. Shame, shame, shame. So uh, my last post, I talked about the recommitment kink. And then guess who didn't show up for 3 days to my commitments to Channel Live? This girl right here. And oh man, that feeling of shame, like deep in the belly, that just like, oh, just like wrecks you. And it is just this like, you just want to hide from everything, and you feel yucky and gross and unworthy, and just like you want to run away and hide, or at least I do when I'm experiencing shame. Shame is a really interesting emotion because there's guilt, and guilt is this natural consequence of emotions that show up when you mess up. You did something wrong. You said the wrong thing. You did the wrong thing. You hurt somebody's feelings. You whatever. And that's just like a normal feeling. Like that's your conscious saying, "Hey, my phone is not lined up right." Um, just a normal, natural feeling of like, okay, conscience kicking in, intuition saying, you need to fix this. You need to be honest. You need to tell the truth. Shame is this deeper, underlying, darker, not that you did something wrong, but you are wrong. So guilt is, whoops, I messed up and I need to fix it. And shame is, I am the mess up and I can't fix it because I messed up. And it keeps you from stepping fully into your power and moving forward and doing the things that you're supposed to do. So I posted the video on recommitment kink, and then the next day I didn't show up. And then I felt so much shame. And then the next day, the shame compounded because I was feeling the shame. And I was like, how do I show up after recommitting? And then I failed. I'm a failure. Ah. What's the reality? What is the reality? Am I really a failure? No. Did I mess up? Sure. And that happens. And when we have compassion over criticism, or curiosity over criticism, even because compassion sometimes can feel like far-fetched, way too far away. When you're in shame, you're just in self-loathing and pity and woe is me and everything sucks, I suck, which is just not true. But when you can have, and compassion can just feel really far away from that. So maybe starting with curiosity. Why do I feel ashamed? Why do I feel like a failure? I was listening to this book today by Clarissa Pinkola Estes about, I can't remember the name of the book. It's on Audible. It's really, I'm listening to it. It's fantastic. All of her books that I have read are fantastic. And she talks about the Puttanesca. I think that's how you say it. And this is a being, and across all sorts of different cultures, it goes by different names, but this being has this bed that it wants you to lie in, and it will entice you to come and stay in this bed. It'll wine and dine you and say all the right things, but as soon as you lay in this bed, I'm going to put you up for the night. I got you. I'll take care of you. As soon as you lay in the bed, if you don't fit in the bed, he'll jump on you and either pull your arms and legs and dismembering to make you fit in the bed, or he'll chop off parts that are overhanging so that you fit in the bed. Everyone must fit, everyone must fit, everyone must fit. And in life, this Puttanesca form shows up in, you've got to fit. You've got to fit the role. You've got to fit the bill. You've got to fit the society's deemed definition of what it should be. And if you don't fit, then you're not good enough. You gotta make yourself smaller, or you gotta stretch yourself out. You gotta, whatever you gotta do, you've gotta make yourself different so you fit. And that's just not the world we live in. We live in such amazing times right now with such incredible technology. I mean, coming to you right now from, I'm in Utah. Where are you? Let me know where you're watching from. And, across time and space, you may be watching me live, or you may be watching this a couple of days, weeks, months, years later from this actual live recording. And we have so many liberties and freedoms of expression that there is no like model or one size fits all or cookie cutter, that it's like, this is what success looks like. This is what a healthy body looks like. This is what a good relationship looks like. This is how you be a good mom. Like, none of that exists anymore. Especially as we step into the age of Aquarius. We've been in the Piscean age, water, flow, emotion, surrender. I mean, Jesus, like, he's symbolized with the fish, and he has all the fish symbolism because he brought in the age of Pisces. And before him, Moses, before he brought down the 10 Commandments, they were in the age of Taurus because they were worshiping the golden calf, the bull, right? So Taurus was Moses's age, and he was trying to bring in Jesus's new law, this water Piscean energy. And now we're entering into this age of Aquarius, which is air, which is technology, which is individuality, humanitarian, and learning that with our individuality, we can heal the world. Because we all came with unique gifts and skill sets that when we honor and own who we are and what we came here to bring to the world, because just the Aquarian individuality, if you just want to do it to be yourself, like, cool, but like, Aquarius energy is very humanitarian. How is your individuality and what you're bringing going to help the world? And so me sharing my message here is one of the ways that I feel called to help the world, is by teaching some of these tools and techniques that have helped me. So when I am dealing with shame, the no shame game that I like to play is like, okay, shame, I see you. You don't need to hide. You don't need to go under your little hood. You don't need to go into a dark corner or a closet or a cave. It's okay. I see you. And I'm curious. There's that curiosity piece again. I'm curious why you would feel you are wrong, right? Because guilt is, I did something wrong, I messed up, and shame is, you are wrong, you're messed up, right? So when shame shows up, it's this curiosity, like, interesting. I wonder why you think I'm wrong. I wonder why you think I'm bad, or I'm a failure, or whatever. Just curiosity. Sit with that part of you and really see if you can connect and listen to them. Listen to that part of you. If you have a trusted friend or confidant that is open to just listening and allowing you to share your piece. Because a lot of times when we go share these things with people, they're like, oh no, you're not. No, you didn't. Oh no. But like, find someone that can hold space and be like, oh yeah, I can see that. I hear you. Oh, that must be really hard. I'm sorry. That's really tough. Or even pulling out questions and asking, like, where did that come from? And when was the first memory you have of that happening? Inner child work is also really powerful. What age was I when this shame showed up? Because shame comes in different sizes and shapes and ages and stages of our life. So getting really curious about why the shame is there, and just asking it questions, journaling, just like putting a pen to paper and going, okay, shame, 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 and just write shame until you have another thought about the shame. And you just keep writing for 20 minutes, just stream of consciousness, whatever thought pops in your head, you write it down or verbally process this. And when I'm verbally processing it, or after I have journaled, sometimes I'll go back and read. And I will tap on the triple warmer meridian. So all the way around the ear and down to this neck muscle, the sternocleidomastoid. sternocleidomastoid. So from the ear, behind, and around. And you can do both sides. And I invite you to join me while you're watching this. And just take a deep breath and just talk through the shame. The shame of, I'm not good enough, I failed, I am a failure, whatever the shame is, the sensation that you're feeling, the gurgling, boiling, roiling in the tummy, and the like intense need to hide and run away and not see anybody because heaven forbid somebody asks me and I have to admit failure, I'm a failure. And as you're just talking, you're just tapping through this triple warmer. It's called the heartwarmer meridian. And this tapping is touching these meridians that are connected to this triple meridian. Excuse me. And it starts to move those emotions through your body and processes them. So it releases it. You're taking action. You're giving validation to your feelings, and you're moving it through. And then when I'm done, I'll just take a couple of deep breaths. I'll usually place my hand on my heart, because this heart space is the space where that part of you that knows your perfection, knows your divinity, knows that you came here for something more, and that our human foibles are normal and nothing to be ashamed of. We don't need to be ashamed of being human. It is normal to be human. It is normal to mess up and try again, because really the only failure is if you quit trying. So don't let shame stop you from being who you are. That shame is old, and it just is like so gross, and it just needs to move. And tapping on that triple warmer while getting really curious about the shame, talking to it, feeling it, noticing the physical sensations and mentioning it are really beautiful ways of working through shame. And if that's not enough and you need more, because man, we have been heaped on and heaped on and heaped on with shame, shame, shame. A cancel culture right now, I mean, that is just a massive shame game. And it's gross because we are sovereign beings and we all are allowed our opinions and our beliefs and our truths, as long as they're not infringing on other people, right? Like there is boundaries here. But letting someone have their own opinion, like, okay, cool. It's like, it would be like trying to make everybody wear the same color shirt, or the rainbow should be all red, or all trees should be pine trees, or all flowers should be roses. That's not how this world works. We're all different and unique, and we bring different flavors and sensations and textures and colors and energy into this world, and some of them don't mix well. and it's okay. You just put your garden somewhere else. You just plant yourself somewhere else, and you don't have to be around the pesky things that you don't like. But so the world just heaps shame on us. And the more you're on your phone and you're scrolling, especially if it's just doom scrolling, and you're comparing yourself to other people, or comparing your Wednesday worst to other people's Sunday best, shame, right? Like, and like we do this. We know that when people post stuff online, that for the most part they have like done their best to like look presentable and share like the fluffy highlights of the story. It's a highlight reel is what it is. And we're comparing our real life, REAL life, to a real life, REEL life, which is just insanity. And then we feel so shamed that we can't live up to all of these people and influencers and whatever that we see. If we're, entrepreneurs and we're watching other entrepreneurs, and why are they doing better than I am? And bleh. So comparison is the thief of joy, first of all. and just get rid of comparison, because good for them. And if you can see it in them, there's this thing in Jungian psychology called the golden shadow. If you know of shadow work, shadow work is where we work with our shame. Shame is a shadow. A shame work is shadow work. We're working with our dark, deep, vulnerable emotions that are yucky. And the golden shadow is kind of the opposite. It's when you look at somebody and you're just like, wow, they are so amazing and inspirational. I'm so inspired by them. Well, guess what? You wouldn't be able to see that goodness in them if it didn't exist in you. This is true. So the shit that we see in other people is our shit that we have to deal with, because everything we see is just a projection of our own mind. So that's shadow work, and that's the stuff that a lot of people know about shadow work more. But this golden shadow is this ability to see the good in others. And if you see it in others, it's because it exists in you. Just like the garbage that we see in other people, well, we only see it because it exists in us. Same with the good stuff. So it like flip the script when you're watching those reels and you're like, oh my God, they're so amazing. Guess what? You have that with you too. It just takes some practice and diligence and showing up and recommitting and recommitting and recommitting over and over and over and over and over again until you have succeeded. And until you succeed, you don't give up, because that's failure. But every time you mess up or get distracted or forget or whatever when life happens, that's not a failure. That's a whoops. Okay, I need to recommit again. And so maybe go watch the recommitment kink again. I probably need to replay it multiple times for myself. So triple wormer. Talk through the shame, get curious with the shame, and have compassion. Maybe after the curiosity, see if you can tap into some compassion and just stop playing it. Note, like, see how fast you can catch when you're starting to feel ashamed, and get curious with it. Most of them are old stories, or they're cultural or ancestral, and they're not even yours. And so it's just like, okay, shame, I see you. Let's talk for a second. And really, all it takes is 90 seconds. It takes 90 seconds to feel an emotion completely. And if you feel the emotion, then it moves through you. Tapping through the meridian points, like the triple wormer, can help move that energy even faster. And then if you want to take this up to the next level, after you've talked through the shame and you felt it viscerally in your body and you've kind of had that release, and you place your hand on your heart and connect back to your intuition, your higher self, your anima, your soul, your spirit, life force, energy, whatever it is for you, then go, okay, how can I be a little more compassionate towards myself? And then start tapping in the positive, what you want to see. What's that golden shadow that you saw that made you feel shame? What are the qualities in that, And how can I love when I allow myself. That's one of my favorite beginnings of a mantra. I love when I allow myself, and sometimes I'll even insert to feel safe. I love when I allow myself to feel safe to experience success. I love when I allow myself to experience vitality. I love when I allow myself to experience relationships, healthy, whatever it is that you're wanting that the shame was trying to prevent you from. And just tap in the same spot what you want. And let me know how it goes. Have a beautiful night.